The name of the book is Cry the Beloved Country. It's an amazing book. What is really needed in a society if it has to sustain itself? If it has to bring together people of diverse, highly racist, racial context, okay? The blacks and the whites. Same is here. We have diverted, we have fragmented, dismantled the nation to such an extent that we cannot identify with people from the Tarai or with people from the hills or with people from the western part of Nepal or with the eastern part of Nepal. We have isolated. That's why I say the ideology of dismantlement is at work in this country. We don't know what we speak. Sabdani Brahma ho Vansa. And look at our politicians speaking. My goodness, they look insane. When you listen, they are insane people. And we are governed by these people. And we talk about development and we talk about hope. How can we, at least me, know? I don't know what you think. Every day I walk for almost an hour before I reach Ratnaraji campus where I teach. Every day I see hundreds of people standing outside the American embassy, just with the hope, if I can get a visa, I can sneak out, leave this place. Maybe some of you also have that intent. Nothing wrong. Because a nation which does not have anything to offer, mind you, I don't believe in that very lofty idea is, oh, don't ask what the nation has given to you, ask what you have given. Come on. That's rubbish. There must be something within this nation that must tempt you, that must lure you to stay here. Otherwise, why don't you stay? As plain and simple as that. I don't know what you think. If you are an ultra-nationalist, good for you. So our idea is, please don't confine yourself to development studies only. Because these are disciplines which are so new, the discourses, and they take all from different locations. There's someone, I forgot the name of that person, he says, wonderfully he says, the poet and the prophet can do without an economist. We don't care. But an economist cannot do without a poet and a prophet. And this is an economist who is saying, not a philosopher. He says we have to be watchful about with the poet, what the poets say. We have to be watchful about what the prophets are saying. And on the basis of that, we need to look into what is it that can help me achieve the desired objectives of development. You cannot lump development. You cannot impose development as Vandana Shiva says. It has to be accepted. And that acceptance comes when you read the social context in which you are exhausting your energy or your money. We think we are the messiah of development. We fly, we distribute, we come back, and we celebrate. My goodness. That's what I feel. So, does it make you angry? No. Does it irritate you? Does it make you think? It's up to you. But again and again we say, there are so many different shades. Well, you must have watched 50 Shades of Grey. So it's not only black and white. My goodness, 50 shades. The range of knowledge is amazing. And something, these stories are which captures this, gives us a sense of proportion of who we really are. And you know what? Nowadays, every discipline is using these stories. Whether it is the management, they think that facts and figures narrated through stories are remembered better. medical science, you know what dementia, medical science, they found that the most difficult patients are the patients with dementia. Well, they are the most irritating in the sense because, and it's not their fault. So what they found was doctors who are treating dementia patients are pretty, the element of compassion is missing. And you'll be surprised in universities like Johns Hopkins, which is one of the finest universities in the world when it comes to medical science. They are experimenting, they are saying, they are bringing these doctors, narrating them stories. Because these stories are what are making them more compassionate. They don't see the patient as an object, which is what development's biggest problem is. We think that's an object where we go and rectify the problems there. And what has been found was, these stories, when they listened to these stories, they found that the treatment towards these dementia patients was more compassionate after a session of the stories. How many of you read stories? I don't know. But read stories to become a better individual. Einstein got a brilliantly one again. He says in one place, if any individual wants to be intelligent, now this is a scientist saying, not a humanities thinker. If you want to be intelligent, read fairy tales. Amazing, right? Once upon a time. And if you want to be more intelligent, read more fairy tales. That's Einstein saying, the man who has been acknowledged as the biggest brain of the 20th century says, you can be intelligent if you read stories, fairy tales. So along with your development, which is dry, I don't see much value in this whole saying, go there and see what are the problems and try to see, make a log, do this, second is this, stage third, come on, that's so dull and boring. We turn it into a narrative. And narratives are far more powerful and acceptable. That's why in economics also you must be reading terms like narrative economics. Come on, what is that? Terms like behavioral economics. And people, you know what? There are books saying Shakespeare for students of economics. What has Shakespeare got to do with economics? But there are credible books teaching, saying Shakespeare for management people, students. What can Shakespearean plays teach? Students of management. What has Shakespeare to say about money matters? Those are the things. So, expand yourself vertically and horizontally also. Don't expand yourself physically. Because knowledge constitutes those two components. Your area of concern, which is development studies, and along with that, what other disciplines can teach me? How other disciplines can enhance my understanding and reading of the notion of development. Like, what is the purpose of reading this book's first page? Because I thought, we talk about development and look at what is happening to our young people who are the real contributor to the notion of development. Okay, I don't want to talk anymore. Yes.
So you said about people celebrating Pullman leasing because he was honest and doing his job. But then again...
No, I want to remove the word just. I said, we don't need to say, we should appreciate. Okay, now your question.
But then again you said on the other side, Govinda Casey, how he has lost, he got demotivated because being honest, with honest people, how he lost hope. then don't you think if we celebrate honest people, other people will be motivated to be doing their jobs more honestly?
I don't disagree with what you are saying, but my only concern is I want to distinguish between what Kulman Gising is doing and what Pushpa Basnet, and maybe that will help us understand better. We don't celebrate Anuradha Koirala and Pushpa Basnet as much as we talk about Kulman Gising. That is my only concern. Because, see, when it comes to heroism, what is far more important is there an element of sacrifice involved in that action or not? That is what should be the distinguishing feature. There is no idea of sacrifice in the part of Kulman Gising, except when you say, oh my goodness, he is sacrificing millions of rupees that he could have got if he had continued with the earlier project. But what is Pushpa Basnet getting? She could have married, lived a wonderful life. And I am not surprised that at least CNN called them heroes, but we, Nepal, is still to acknowledge. हमने के मतलब कुलमान घिसिङलाई प्रधानमन्त्री बनाऊ, अनुराधा कोइरालाले के गरेर दुई चार जनालाई समातेर लिएर आयो. My goodness, the element of sacrifice, the selfless sacrifice. Kulman is getting a salary. This one, the Malay, you should appreciate. I would say you should appreciate it, and you should appreciate yourself. Oh my goodness, we are coming here at 6 o'clock. So you have to be watchful about. That is my only concern, and it's a tragedy when a person like Dr. Casey has to retreat. I don't disagree with what you are saying. The poverty of honesty. We just have to cling to. For almost 3 years, we are clinging to Kulman Gising. And we are afraid, my goodness, what if this fellow goes, I'll be in dark again. Oh my God, where is the legacy? History demands a legacy. We don't have that. So that's my only concern. I have nothing against, what was that? Power? I have nothing against Kulman. Yes.
So you give this phrase of luxury of ignorance that we have. I really like the phrase. I wish I had that right now. But then don't you think that because of that luxury of ignorance that older generation had, we are in the phase where we are right now? Like so.
How much do you listen to people like me who paint such a bleak picture? Tell me. I'm confident, I'm sure that all of them come here and tell you, wow, nation is doing this, look how we have been doing this. I'm not saying that we should remain ignorant. The two dimension is something so blissful for us. I just want to forget all these things and go back into the past, because I know people who ignore their pasts, people who do not read their history properly are condemned to experience that again and again and again.
Professor Sharma, I just want to contribute a few words because you have already lived your life.
No, I still have.
Already experienced a lot in this world, but we people here, we have certain dreams. We want to get out of this pessimism and develop this nation. So you say that you want to go back to the past, but we want to go to the future, making our present happy. And I'm quite in the same place as you are about narratives and stories. Yes, there was Anand Sharma. There was something that bounded our nation in the past, and we don't have that unifying heroes or unifying factors at present. So what could be the solution? Where should these scholars...
See, this is the problem with your question. You are asking for a solution from a man who is a pessimist. But let me give you an answer to this. I'm not saying that we should not have, as you said, we don't want to dwell upon the past, but we want to move into the future. But let me tell you honestly, you cannot achieve anything in future if you are not aware of your past. Never. Let me give you a burning example. I hope we still have some time.
Not so much.
Okay, 1 minute. Let us look at the example of America. You know what was American definition of America at the beginning? American said, who is an American? This is a question that a French raised and gave an answer. He said, an American is someone who has cut his ties with the past and has nothing to do with the past. That is what America is. And they came up with the concept of melting pot. You come from different cultures and you lump into one location and then you become a new American. That's why Rollo May said, that existential psychology said that the problem is you have disconnected yourself with the past, means you have disconnected yourself with the mythologies, with the stories, with the heroes from where you come. And that is what created a crisis. And now, America does not talk about cutting your ties with the past. America is now talking about cultural plurality and celebrating the cultural roots. And when you talk about roots, what are roots? Roots are the past. So if you deny your past and think that you can achieve a better future,
wouldn't that cultural diversity be a unifying matter for
it should be
in Nepal also?
No, it can be is a different question, but it is not right now. That is what I feel. That's why I say the problem is this dismantlement ideology that we have embraced can never take us into future. I'm sorry, I painted a bleak picture, but I am insistent upon the fact that if we are not aware of our past, we can never work in the present to make our future better. Never. That's my conviction. Forgetting the past and saying that I'll build my future, no nation has been able to do that. America could talk about it for just 2 decades, and after 2 decades it had to reject and say, oh my goodness, our nation is a nation of migrants. Whatever Trump says is one thing. But ultimately, deep down, he knows he has his roots somewhere else. So until and unless we are aware of that root, which is the mythology, the root is the mythology of a nation, we cannot progress. So think over it, and maybe when we bump into one another as we move around, because I walk this region a lot, I stay in Galuktar. I walked in the morning to this, so maybe when we bump into one another, even if I cannot recognize you as he has already said, because you've already lived your age, please make sure that you call me. I would be so happy to hear from you.
So any more questions or curiosities with Professor Sir?
Actually, the question that Nimesh is raising reminds me of one story.
Good that you are a narrator of story.
The story is about there was a lot of students and one guru was always giving the stories, telling the stories. So every time he tells the stories, so the students listen to the stories. And one day, one student asked him, you always keep telling the stories, but you don't tell us the meaning. That was one of the questions of the students to the guru, or to the teacher, to the instructor. And I will ask you, what will be the answer of the guru to the students? So why he is telling the stories and not the meanings? Because while you were asking the solutions to solve, so that reminds me of the stories.
Maybe because every student has their own perception, perspective.
That might be one, because the moment you give the meaning of the story, what happens is you are not acknowledging the intelligence of the student. To end with this, Hemingway, the Nobel Prize winner, the Old Man and the Sea, you might have read some of the best writings. You know what he says at one point? The same thing. It reminded me what Hemingway said. Hemingway was asked, why do you leave gaps and other things? Why don't you explain your ideas? He does not explain things, he just gives us. And this is the answer that he gave. He said that, look, if I give what I intend to say, then I am being disrespectful to the audience. I assume that the audience is equally intelligent and he or she will be able to make sense of the gaps that we, or as readers, we read in his writing. So that is respecting. So she write at one point that why should anyone give the meaning of it? We are not here to give.
And he beautifully explains the meaning is, if I give you the fruit by chewing myself, will you get the nutrition or not?
No.
So
No.
that's the answer of the globe.
No. Beckett, another theatre of the absurd, he says, when he was asked, what is the meaning of your play? His plays are pretty absurd, called Waiting for Godot and all these things. Nothing happens in the play. We want the play to happen something, nothing happens. So when he was asked, what is the meaning of this play? You know what he said? That was a brilliant answer. He said, you know what? I would have told you if I knew. I also, if I knew the answer to my pessimism, I knew the answer to, then what should we do? I would have given it to you. And maybe other people who come in here talk about development, they may have some definite answers. I don't.
But every time it's like a second-hand answers, you know, because we.
No, your answer is your first-hand answer. My answer when you are taking is a second-hand.
So we are taught more to live in the second-hand answers.
I would say so, which is wrong. That's why I said, I don't want to give, I want to make you angry. I don't want to make you feel good. I want you to think. If it provokes you, I'm happy, my purpose is served. I'm not here to tell us what is development and how we should go forward. No, that's not my duty. It's yours, because you have taken that responsibility. So find your own answer. That would be a better than being given an answer. So read all disciplines, watch movies, and see what insight they are really attempting to convey. Please.
You said there is lack of honesty in the country. What do you think is the reason behind that?
Okay. See, I'm not saying lack of honesty pervasive. I'm saying the problem arises when poverty of honesty is observed among and in those locations which matter the most. Which matter the most. I'm here dishonest. Oh my goodness. That is not an issue at all, I would say. I would not call that man a dishonest man. No. There are people who matter at the highest level and who have taken up the responsibility of governance. If there you have this poverty of honesty, that is a problem. But that problem cannot be erased. To the question, I don't see. You have to generate certain structures. That's my answer. I'm not, again I would say, I'm insistent on the fact that we have a poverty of honesty. But I cannot give you an answer that how can we eradicate that? People think on our own. Yes. The interesting thing is, I'm a BCom graduate, mind you. I did my BCom from Calcutta University, came here and shifted to education, did not like commerce, did not like education, moved into humanities, did my MA from Tribhuvan University, was fortunate enough, I admit that I'm not an intelligent fellow, but I was fortunate enough to get a Fulbright Scholarship, and I was there for 5 years. I did my MA and PhD from there, and honestly, I teach everything.
My question is, like, you call yourself pessimist, right? So,
Yes.
as a teacher, okay, as a student, from teachers we get hopes that we will do something better in future. So, as a teacher and being a pessimist, what do you give to students? Do you give hope to do better, or
No, you know what?
give them? Because we pay so much fees, and to get that, we get for future we get hopes that something will go better in our life. But as a pessimist, what do you
No,
give
you know
to
what?
students?
I give you the opportunity, the luxury of ignorance, one is a thing. I give you the luxury of pessimism. 99 of your teachers are all positive, optimists. So look at me also. And then you can curse me. Come on, this fellow, how pathetic this fellow is. But at least you are getting a taste of some different. That's the only thing. I wish someone only optimism here. So if I have been able to give you the luxury of pessimism, that also you should appreciate. You can hope from others. You can lose hope. And then think that when hope is lost, well, there was one fellow who at one point in time came and said that, okay, life is not only optimism, life has a pessimistic shade also. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed, and the only optimism is, I'm not making this, the only optimism is, for the first time I really enjoyed talking with people.
First time?
Yes!
Thank you.
That's the only hope. My goodness, you people seem to change me, and I don't want to change my.
But I think you are also optimistic in disguise.
Yes.
How you read? That is your reading. That is your reading.
Yes, sir.
That was actually, I wanted to interpret your session today. You are an optimist in disguise.
I got a new expression. Thank you so much for that.
Because throughout the session, we did not find any kind of pessimism in your talk and lecture. And I hope these development scholars who are so confident about their contribution in development of this nation or this world will find some solution in how they can discover the unifying element in developmental obstacles. So with this positive note, I will finally want to invite any one of you who want to express, acknowledge on behalf of this class and college to Professor Sharma. So we have Tribhuvan University, who is also the class representative of who? Tribhuvan University.
Thank you so much, sir. You gave different perspective to the things we look. It was the other side of the coin, and it was really interesting to get to know about those stuffs, and it was really tweaking our thinking. On behalf of our whole class, I would really like to thank you from bottom of each of our heart. It was really, really pleasure to have you and listen to you.